Can you get rich by investing off of the most popular stocks on Reddit? I put $1,100, yes, 1,100 real dollars, this is not a paper trading account, into some of the most talked about stocks on Reddit for 2026. And now we're going to do a breakdown and showcase the results because I guarantee it's going to surprise you as much as it has surprised me. If you're new here, my name is Spencer. I talk all about stocks and ETFs, and I absolutely love investing. I've been doing it for over 8 years now. But I need your help. I want to continue to grow this community of active investors. So if you're interested in making money in the stock market, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe. And now we'll talk about if I can get rich trading Reddit's most popular stocks. I want to start by saying that this is the most volatile portfolio I have ever created. And I've traded weekly dividend ETFs, I have traded penny stocks, not enough penny stocks to be honest, but this one definitely is far more volatile in good and bad ways. So we can see it is up today 2.63%. Now I'll read through the holdings. We have Rocket Lab, we have ASTS, we have Amazon, we have NBIS, we have Google, Reddit, MU, SOFI, Poet, AMD, and IREN. And the reason I chose all of these is simply because Reddit had here's the top 10 stocks for 2026, and IREN was the 11th, but I also wanted some exposure to it. And so now we're going to talk about what my cost basis was and how much money each of these has made me. But first, we're going to zoom out and we're going to go year to date. This is the last thing that I expected. Now, one thing I want to state about this portfolio is I imagine that it would go up, but I thought there would be about 50-50. A lot of these would crash and a lot of them would continue to run. Some of these names were up 200 to 300% when I bought them. And no, I did not believe that they would go another 200%, but some of them have. Now I want to specify, I am not an expert in these specific holdings. I know a lot more about them now, but when I first bought them, I was buying them solely based off the hype of Reddit popularity. And we did have quite a pullback. Again, initially $1,100 starting, it ran up to 7% in the green, and then we had a pullback, and then it sat in the 900s, and then we had another pullback, and at the lowest point, this portfolio was down 24.5%. This style of investing is not for the weak. And then things started to change. The market rebounded, it hit 1,100, 1,200, pulled back, and then it ran all the way up to 1,600 and pulled back. And now we are where we're sitting at today, $1,759. We are up 59.99% year to date. 5 months. In 5 months, I'm up 60% on stocks Reddit showcased. So now we're going to go through and let's talk specifically about these holdings and how they've performed. Because again, there are some great performers and there are some terrible performers. And I want to show you guys what exactly is behind these companies. Starting off with RKLB or Rocket Lab. And we're going to talk about these specific industries and, of course, my original starting point. We're looking at the 1 year chart. So I didn't invest in this until January of 2026 when it had already run up 263%, mind you. My average cost is $85.31 per share, and currently it's trading for $125 per share. Today, we are down 13%. And this is not the first day that I've seen pullbacks like this. We've seen this pretty continuously. And most of these giant leaps up, I should say, are from news. News related to a deal they did or something or other, news within the space sector, because Rocket Lab, of course, is a space stock. But we are still up 46.71% on Rocket Lab, which you would think is the best performer in the portfolio. Genuinely, it's not even close. Now, I'm not telling anyone to buy these stocks simply because it has worked for me. A lot of them are overinflated. A lot of this is based off of hype. And when it comes to the space sector specifically, I think the SpaceX IPO could cause some crazy movement. And I'm not saying upward movement. I think we could see some pretty insane pullbacks in the course of, over the course of the next couple months with like ASTS and Rocket Lab, simply because people are saying that SpaceX will boost the entire sector, and that also is a possibility. But also Rocket Lab is competing with SpaceX. So that is, I don't like going up against Elon Musk. You could always buy both, which is likely what I will end up doing. But I just thought that was important to note when it comes to what could be happening over the next couple months with Rocket Lab. Now onto our next stock. ASTS, Space Mobile. This one was trading pretty heavily when I did buy in early on in January. And since my average cost is $98.69, we are still green on this one because it is at $1.04. At one point, the highest, it was at $133, up 480%, and it has pulled back to only being up 350% on the 1 year. So we did not get a lot of the return of this one quite yet, especially with this pullback. It is down 8% today, and our total return, we are up 5.5%. Markets are still open, and so this thing is still actively going up and down. But ASTS, a lot of the same things with Rocket Lab. I mean, if you zoom out a little bit more, this thing just went pretty parabolic after being in the $3 range all the way up to $100. That's quite the return. Will it continue? I don't know. I'm not an expert in the space sector. I do have UFO and ETF that gives me access to the space sector, but still, these again are just the most popular stocks talked about on Reddit. And Reddit has a big fan base. People make a lot of money trading stocks based off what Reddit says, as we can see. Even though this one's only up 5% on the year, you're still pretty much keeping pace with the S&P 500, maybe slightly behind on one of the worst performers in the portfolio. Now, it is by far not the worst, so let's keep going. Amazon was a company that I owned prior to Reddit talking about it, and I guess the fanboys that love Rocket Lab and ASTS, some of them also love Amazon. And although this one hasn't been great for us, up only 6% in the portfolio, I believe long-term in this company. So there are a few names in here that I wasn't expecting because I thought that Reddit would rely mostly on hype. Now, Amazon being up 27% this past year does kind of showcase there is some hype around it, and that Reddit may have been correct on their assumption that this thing would continue to go up. Now, Amazon is a massive company, so it doesn't have a lot of the pull that these smaller companies have when massive inflows of cash come in, meaning Amazon is slower growth. It's still growth, but it's slower growth than a lot of these smaller names that can be swayed a lot more, and thus it's not nearly as volatile. It has been on a little bit of a pullback, but we did see this thing run from under 200 to over 270, and now it has pulled back again to that 261 range. Not bad by any means. I'm a fan of this company. I'm a fan of the long-term growth, and I imagine over the next 10 years, I will be sitting quite pretty on my position in Amazon because I am still up 20 something plus percent from when I originally bought it in my Roth IRA, not counting this portfolio. So Amazon, a simple name. Reddit sometimes will throw in some speculative stuff with some pretty core holdings, which I think is really interesting. NBIS, Nebius Group, this one is up almost 16% today. And I mean, it's probably just based off of news. Sometimes Robinhood would tell you, looks like, who knows, growing fast, whatever, talking about the NVIDIA CEO talking about Nebius, and that's caused it to run. And this is what happens. These companies get a little wind of something. Trump mentions something that could be related to these, and they'll run like mad. Over the last year, it is up 669%. When I purchased Nebius, it was trading at roughly $89. No, my average cost, $99.59. Market value today is $268. So remember, because everything I put in was exactly $100, we are up big. We are up 168.87% with Nebius Group. This is one of the top performers in the portfolio, and it kind of blows my mind. Now remember, I didn't know about these companies. They were Reddit selected, Reddit verified, and I was like, well, let's see how this goes. And this portfolio was really lackluster for quite a bit of time. In a rocky market, these will underperform in most cases. A lot of this is based off of hype. So in a severe pullback, these things would absolutely get destroyed. Now, luckily, since I purchased these at the beginning of 2026, we haven't had a severe pullback. Not even close, really. So these have continued to run based off news and pretty much based off of hype. There is some good things happening within these companies. They are becoming more profitable in a lot of cases, but there is still a lot of risk involved with these companies. I mean, anything that is up 670% in the last year is going to have more risk. It again is up 209% year to date. So this one is one of the best performers, and it has been fueling the returns within this Reddit portfolio. Google is another relatively safe one. Although it is up 121% in the past year, it did have a pullback down to the 270s and then rocketed to the 390s. Absolutely insane. Average cost is $330, so we are sitting a little bit pretty on this one, up 13%. This and Amazon were the only two of the Mag 7 within this portfolio. I thought NVIDIA would be in here as well, but it wasn't talked about nearly as much. I was planning on buying it just because, and I do hold NVIDIA as well. But Google is one of my better performers, not only within this portfolio, but within my actual Roth IRA, where I bought it a bit earlier, and I bought a bit of a leveraged ETF that's like 1.2x, giving me a little bit more exposure to Google. So when this thing runs, it really does help boost my portfolio. I'm long on Google. Of course, we are on YouTube, which owns Google, and thus I am long YouTube. So Google has a lot of pros to it, but it is very, very large. So in comparison to NBIS, in comparison to Rocket Lab, you're not going to have quite the same movement in most cases. That being said, being up 120% in the past year is absolutely amazing. And we did see a pullback a year ago, which does help boost the returns that we've seen with Google. Now to one of our worst performers, Reddit stock. This one is actually up on the year, up 63%. But year to date, it is beaten down 24%, though it has bounced a little bit. At the lows, it was down nearly 50%, but it has climbed back. My average cost is $246.79, meaning we are down 28% with Reddit. Not happy about that, but I knew that there would be some losers in this portfolio. Now, I don't think that Reddit long-term will do terribly. It's a very popular platform, and I'm literally using it to invest real dollars, and it's making me quite a bit of money, 60% in returns in under 6 months. But I just think that we got caught in a little bit of a hype cycle with Reddit. And this could be said with all of these holdings, aside from Google and Amazon, that are a little more consistent. If the hype flows out, if they get bad news, if something happens with one of the rockets, it doesn't launch correctly, it blows up, you would see some crazy swings within this portfolio. And that's why it's not for the faint of heart. I'm doing this, I'm okay. If I lost all of the money, I would be devastated, but life would go on. It wouldn't bankrupt me. So Reddit. It's down in the portfolio. It is one of the worst performers, but it's not the worst performer. We're going to get to that one right away. Now, we went the opposite way. MU, Micron Technology, is up 1,000% in the past year, and year to date, it's up 250%. So I purchased this thing, again, January when it was trading at $312, a little bit late on this one as well, $343. It has since run up to over 1,000. This is giving us a 204% return. It's also up 7.25% today. I also hold this within DRAM, which is the round till ETF. I'll link a video at the end of this one for those of you interested in that. It's absolutely insane. And DRAM holds MU, it holds Samsung, SK Hynix, Kioxia, I think is how you pronounce it. It holds these companies that you can't typically buy on US markets, which does give it a bit of a diversification edge in comparison. But MU, over $1,000 now. This one does blow my mind. The performance is there, the need is there, the AI bottleneck is there. When will the AI bottleneck shatter? When will memory not be as necessary? When will they be able to create? When will supply catch up with demand? That's what you have to watch out for, because these are cyclical. The demand is cyclical, and when the demand is gone, I imagine MU will fall quite rapidly. And that can be said about a number of these AI companies or companies profiting off of AI, but I am playing AI for the long run as well. MU is the best performer in this entire portfolio. I mean, 200% in 5 months is absolutely nuts. And if you'd bought it a little bit earlier, you'd be up even more. But again, the risk with this one is there as well. So don't forget that. SOFI has been one of the biggest bummers of the portfolio, albeit I did purchase more within my actual brokerage once it hit the price that I was looking for. So I missed out on the original SOFI run. I was watching this thing when it was $6, and then it ran to 16. And I said, I'm not going to buy that. It's way overvalued. It pulled back to 9. I said, it's probably going to come back to 7. And then it ran all the way to 30. Now, it is back down in a decent buy range for me, which is why I did purchase it. And I think my cost basis is around the 15, a little bit under 15. No, a little bit over 15, which is okay. I think I might be in the green or close to it at this point. It looks like I will be in the green because of this last run up. But year to date, it is down almost 30%. And at one point, it was much worse, down 43%. I like SOFI. I think long-term, they'll be fine. I think it's fintech. I think it's everything that the younger generations can't stand about banking avoided with how SOFI works. They don't have physical locations. You don't have to go into the bank. They have student loans. They have refinancing. They have credit cards. They have housing. They have everything that you need. And once they get you onto their platform, it's huge. I'm going to do a full video soon on 3 stocks I'm buying at a discount, and SOFI is one of them. So I think it's really, really interesting, and I do see it as a bit of a disruptor within the fintech, the finance community, and I do use it. So That's another reason, of course. So SoFi Technologies, average cost is 27.47 on here. We are down 32%, even though it is up a little bit. We were a lot worse off with SoFi. Maybe it'll bounce back in the last half of 2026. Maybe it won't. But either way, the results from this challenge have been extremely interesting. And we still have 2 stocks left to talk about. We have 3 left to talk about, including Poet Technologies, up 11% today. On the 1 year, it is up 221%, and year to date, it's up 104%. Now, my average cost is $7.38. It's trading at $13.64, so we are up almost 85% with today's run of 11%. Poet Tech, not even fintech, just tech company. I believe it's AI, and that's why it was included. I do need to do more research on this one because a lot of these smaller companies will get government contract deals that will then absolutely cause them to run. Like at one point, this thing ran to 15 and then pulled back to 6, and then it ran to 20 and a half, and then it pulled back to 13. So you cannot hold these and not be able to stomach the volatility. If you bought in hoping it would run and it ran and then pulled back, and then you sold at a loss, and then it ran again, and then you sold at another loss, you can really get caught up in just a terrible, terrible pattern with these companies. But again, I can't complain. I'm up 85% with Poet. Maybe I should do this challenge with more money next time. But now we're going to talk about another company that I definitely think you already know about. AMD came out of nowhere. I am up over 100% in my other leverage account, and this thing has just been absolutely amazing. Speaking of, I'm thinking of doing a leveraged portfolio. Would you guys be interested in watching that as a series? There's tons of different leveraged ETFs that I want to utilize, and we could do like a 1.5x, maybe even a 2x, and see if we can trade our way to profitability in this absolutely insane run that we've seen in the stock market. So we have AMD, which I think is the 3rd best performer, up 150%. Our average cost is $204, and it's sitting at $511 currently, up 360% in the last year. And I wish I had purchased more way down when this thing started picking up. So they got their new CEO about 2 years ago, and she has completely changed the game for AMD, pushed it to compete more with NVIDIA, and thus the performance showcases that. AMD is still a long-term hold for me, probably 10, 15, 20 years out. I may hold these shares until I retire. We'll see how this portfolio does. Maybe I'll never sell any of these and see if I can become extremely wealthy from Reddit, because that would be absolutely amazing. But either way, AMD, very interesting company to watch, and I do like the sector. I think it's been heavily boosted recently, and I mean, up $400 in price over the last year alone is absolutely nuts. So AMD, shout out to everyone who owns this company. Last but not least, we have a very interesting performer with IREN Limited, ticker IREN. This one is up in the last year, almost 700%. You guys, people used to beg for like a 10% S&P 500 performance. Some of these companies are up so astronomically huge. It's absolutely amazing. And thus, that's what sparked this challenge, is I wanted to get some skin in the game. So our average cost is $46.70. It's trading at $65.40. And so our return is about 40%. And that's really all you could ask for. This one had already run up when we did purchase it, because we bought it early on in 2025, probably a little bit too early, and then it did pull back. But either way, I've been really happy with this one. This one has been trading at a little bit more of a buy level for me, especially when it fell all the way down to $34. Now, my plan with this series now that we've seen some of these performances, is to do a deep dive into each of these companies. And if you're interested in that, let me know down below in the comments, because it's really fascinating how these have performed. I'm also working on a way to try to find these before they run, as is every other YouTuber, every other investor. But I have some picks that I'm interested in holding for the long term. Now, again, this is all extremely high risk. I recommend, if you are investing in these companies, do a small percentage of your portfolio, be okay with losing that capital, because if we did see a bear market, if we did see a pullback, these companies would fall like mad. And if you don't believe me, if you think the ad deals would keep coming, everything changes in a bear market. In a bull market, every investor's phenomenal. We're able to do this. I'm up this percentage with this. No, you have to be realistic with this, and you should always hold, in my opinion, some major indexes, the S&P 500. You can even do something riskier like SPMO, the NASDAQ 100, in order to just counteract if we do see a pullback. I love that. I love using my gains from these kind of runners to put into those ETFs to make me more money in the long run. As always, if you guys are interested in more videos, let me know down below by liking the video and by subscribing and by hyping if you're able to do that. I appreciate you guys so much. We're approaching 7,000 subscribers, so help us get there. And thank you. If you like this video, check out this video popping up on your screen right now about DRAM ETF.